You might not be able to see it, but this is the Sea of Galilee. Shalom, everybody, from Guy Beach Hotel. I'm here meeting with some friends along the shores of the Galilee. And now you can see the water reflection here, huh? Shalom, everybody. I just drove down the hill. I live up that way to meet with my good friend, Rabbi Aaron. And you can't see it, but I'm hearing fish, ba-doom, ba-doom, just jumping. It's great. It's a beautiful night here. Hello, everybody. Hello, Sergio. How you doing, brother? Oh, man, you've been here so many times, brother. I bet you're missing it. Shalom to you and Rhoda in Florida, brother. So, yeah, I'm at Guy Beach Hotel. My friends just spent the day up on the Golan Heights. They finished up at the Golan Heights Winery, and they're heading back here to their hotel. I'm just going to meet them and say hello. It's a lovely congregation from Washington, D.C. Good friends. So I wanted to say hello. Let me just spin this around. Yeah, it's me. I'm back. Last video I posted was from over a week ago, but I posted it a day or two ago. I was just in the States. I came back 4 days now, 3.5 days ago now, and it's very good to be back. Back home, back to work, so much to do. But here's Tiberias. Here's the shores of Tiberias. And right now, this is still Tiberias. We're on the outskirts. And then there's just only a few more things. There's a couple hot springs over there, and then it becomes kind of nothing and more small villages down that way, and my kids' schools and all that. But hey, Glenn Grant, you said you enjoyed the video from Pennsylvania. Yeah, well, yeah, from one lake to another, right? I was in the Poconos where I grew up, and now I'm on the Sea of Galilee, next to the Sea of Galilee, where my kids are growing up. It's wild. I'm a lake guy. I love water. I like fishing. I'm not a good fisherman, but I like to fish. Hey, Norel. Hello, Jess Bullock. Hello, Wendy Maraj. Hello, Suzanne. Hi, Suzanne Drasba. Hi, Judy. Hello, Marietka. So great to see some of these familiar names I see here on all the time. Hello, Eve. Hello, Chava in India. Hello, Jerry in Michigan. Let me show you this other angle here. So I came home from America. Just a quick briefing. I came home from America. I got to spend the evening. I got back home maybe 8:39 p.m. On a Saturday night. And Sunday morning, 6 a.m., I woke up, took my daughter to the bus. I told her, I will volunteer to take you, get a couple extra hours, took her to the bus to go to the Army. And yeah, so I'm back, and it is good to be back. It is good to be back. But in a couple weeks, my son, so I have one child in the Army, one daughter who is a woman in the Army, it's hard to believe. And now I have a son, the oldest of my 4 sons. He's going to the Army. Not for another 1.5 years, or almost 2 years, but in 10th grade, no, he's in 11th grade, wow. In 11th grade, you start going to the Army to begin your entry into the Army. So on the 15th, or somewhere around there, he's going to the Army to basically officially sign up for the Army. So it's while my daughter's only in the Army for 4 months, and I'm already in the process of giving them another one of my children. It's wild when you move to the homeland, you move to Israel. Everybody has to, at 18 years old, everybody goes to the Army, or they could choose college first. But I wanted to tell a little story about a philosopher. As I was flying on the plane back to Israel, I usually, honestly, if you ever sit next to me, forgive me if I don't talk to you, but 11 hours is long, and I've got kids, and I've got a lot to do, so I love the quiet time. Usually I'll watch maybe 1 or 2 movies. I like the old movies. Last one I watched was Casablanca, but I was sitting there, and there's a guy sitting next to me, interesting fella. I just said hello, and that was it. So about half an hour before we landed, he asked to rip off the back of my magazine. I had a business magazine. I like to read about business. I went to business school. And he asked if I could rip off the back of the magazine. Basically, it said, what was the word? It was, what was the word? It was about, it was about forward thinking. What was the word? It was about technology, about advancing technology, and I forget the word now. And he said, how do you feel about that? And I said, well, it's amazing what we can do with our minds to advance technology. And he's like, every time we do something to advance, we destroy the earth a little bit more. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. He was a bit of a tree-hugging philosopher. He described himself as a philosopher. He asked me what I do. I said, I'm a singer. What kind of music? Well, there you go. There's the whole story. While I sing in Hebrew and English, I'm a Messianic Jew. He's like, oh, like Jehovah's Witnesses? And I don't know why Israelis ask me this. Native Israelis ask me all the time. I'm always like, where do you get Jehovah's Witness from Messianic Jew? Anyways, I said, no, Messianic Jew. I believe that Jesus, Yeshua, is the Messiah. And we still keep the Jewish feasts, and we still believe in Judaism, the Judaism of Yeshua, the first century. That's right, this is where 2/3 of his miracles happened, right here in the Galilee. And he asked me how many believers are here. I said about 30,000 or more. And that's a guess, but I'm sure it's more. And he's like, wow, I did not know this. And he said, I love Jesus. And I'm like, okay, he said, I love his teachings. I'm not sure. He said, I'm not sure if I'm not sure if he's a believer. And I'm like, believe in what? Your philosophy? And then I said, so I said, that's cool. He was whether you believe in him or not, he was a revolutionary. He's the greatest rabbi that ever lived. He changed the world, flipped the world upside down. And that was a cool part. And I just kind of finished it up by saying, I can't wait to get home. And I showed him a picture of my daughter. I said, my daughter's waiting for me. She's in her 4th month in the army. And he said, don't talk to me about the army. And I'm like, oh, why? He's like, no, I'm very, very leftist. And I'm like, okay. I said, well, my daughter works on watching the border. She monitors the border and makes sure terrorists don't come to attack anybody. Do you have anything wrong with that? And he got very defensive and didn't want to talk anymore. And it made me really think. It made me go home and think, I didn't change my opinion, but I'm always open. You know, I'm always open to assess what I believe. And I concluded, God brought us back, and he brought us back. My great-grandparents were killed in the Holocaust, and we've said never again, never again. And it's interesting to meet self-proclaimed people that call themselves philosophers, and that they would even live in Israel. Like, I would suggest they go to a country where you don't have to fight anymore. I wish we didn't have to fight here anymore. As a matter of fact, I'm looking right here across the mountain. Maybe you can see some of those little lights there. Some of those lights, that is the Golan Heights. That's the other side of the lake. Probably can't see it from this angle, maybe. That is the Golan Heights. And that, in 1967, was Syria. Literally Syria. There wasn't many people occupied on it. They still lived on the other side. But they'd come across and they would fire rockets like crazy, and they would snipe civilians, always civilians. And as a matter of fact, the local kibbutz has a tank in their field to show that they took a tank that they actually attacked from there across the lake. They had a tank, and they actually, with Molotov cocktails, these local civilians took the tank for Israel. And it's just incredible history. First of all, you have the miracle of the rebirth of Israel. And I'm preaching to the choir here, aren't I? I'm sure I am to most of you. First of all, you have a country that should never be. It's never happened in the history of the world where a people were scattered for 2,000 years again. Smoke that on your philosophy cigar. For 2,000 years, our people were scattered, but brought back again. God said that would happen. He who scatters Israel will gather Israel again. Here we are. And we know that there was going to be a terrible crisis in the dispersion, and there was. My great-grandparents were murdered in the Holocaust. But here we are back again, and we say, never again, never again. And I believe in the God of Israel above all. I don't believe in the land of Israel. I believe in the God of Israel, and I hold fast to his words. And the Bible says we are never to be uprooted again. And we've been uprooted even while we were here. We've lost ground just because we wanted to make peace, and we know that doesn't work. It hasn't worked. All they want to do is push us into the sea. I don't want to get too political, but it just made me so excited to come home and a reminder of what I believe. And it's not a political belief. It's a kingdom belief. I believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and all his promises are yes and amen. And I get to raise my kids in this land. And unfortunately, they have to do their part. They have to serve in the army. I get to raise my kids in this land and watch it not only be reborn. My mother got to watch it be reborn. She was born in Israel just a few months before Israel was reborn. But to get to come back to this land and to raise my kids. Well, God bless you guys. If you're wanting to come to Israel, you can do it. We have a group this February. Just go to joshuaaaron.tv. We have our annual group in October. Those dates will be coming up late October 2023. That is our big annual one where we have we always have a concert. And we invite the locals to come out. We had about 600 people show up to our concert. That was really just last minute. Our group knew about it, but we opened it to the public last minute this past October. And that's our big annual Worship in Israel tour in October. We usually try to keep it to 1 to 2 buses so you don't feel like cattle. So it's quite awesome. And you stay at hotels just like this. I believe our hotel in October will be down there, the Magdala Hotel. And I hope you guys can join me for one of our tours. And if you can't, Sonia just said there's always the virtual tour. And if you have the virtual tour in the next month, we're trying to add a basic level Hebrew on there. So not only do you get a 7-day virtual tour, you get to learn Hebrew as well. But come join me in Israel. joshuaaaron.tv. The link is below. We're just so excited to be back. And yes, it's a big step to move here for my family. We lived here going on 8.5 years, actually 8.5 years. If you count our first year, we lived here back in 2009. We moved back in 2015, and it's just great to be here. This is my lake. This is the lake of my rabbi who walked this land and flipped the world upside down right here in the Galilee. Tiberias is known for being the place of rabbis. They come here, many Orthodox, ultra-religious, some of their rabbis were buried here, and they come almost pray to them. It's kind of an interesting thing. But my rabbi died, he rose again, and he's the only way to reach the Father through the Son. So God bless you guys. Just go to joshuaaaron.tv and sign up, or just sign up for our newsletter. God bless you guys from the Sea of Galilee. Yo!